Hello. Good morning to all of you. Am I audible?
Yeah, doctor, good morning.
Good morning. So let us start with the topic. So in last class, since 2 classes, we are discussing about the sampling, right? So in the last class, we have discussed the different type of the non-probability samplings. In today's class, we are going to discuss about the probability sampling and how to conduct that kind of sampling, right? So let me admit this person. Okay. So under the sampling design, every item of the universe or every member or every person of the population, universe means the population you are going to consider for data collection, right? So all that have the equal chances of the inclusion in the sample. That means each item, each member have the equal chance that that can be chosen or selected as a sample. If that kind of situation is there, that kind of sampling will be known as the probability sampling. Each item has the equal probability. This kind of sampling is also known as the random sampling or chance sampling, right? Because in this case, we don't know about the who will be included as the sample, right? So that depends upon the chance, or randomly you are going to choose that one, right? So probability sampling is that kind of sampling in which each item has the equal chance to be included as a sample or in the sample. Okay. If you see the types of the probability sampling, basically we have the 5 types. First one is the simple random, or without making any systematic approach or defining any procedure. Just you have to select randomly from the given population, right? So that kind of the probability sampling is simple random sampling or simple random probability sampling. Second is the systematic. Third is the stratified. That means depending upon the categories we are going to give the some probability. Fourth is the cluster sampling, and fifth is the disproportional. That means we are going to conduct the sampling not in the given proportion, but some weightage should be given to the another group. But mind it, in all the cases, probability is going to be at the base. Okay, we are going to consider the concept of the probability to apply. So simple random sampling can be applied where this is just the definition of the random sampling, right? You are not going to define any extra approach or the system or how to conduct it. Just you have a population, let's say population of the 100, and you have to select the sample of 5, and then randomly you are going to select. What is the meaning of random? Can anyone tell me what do you mean by the random? Anyone?
We can select without any measurement or any scientific method. Just pick from the population or entities.
Yeah, in that case, you know that, okay, this is the population, these are the items, without giving any thoughts. Randomly, let's say you are going to close your eyes and put your hand upon the some members or some items. Okay, that may be a random technique. Sometimes to make it proper, randomly, what we do, we use the random numbers, right? Apply the random numbers to select the people, so the representation should be good. And with the help of the software also, you can generate the, yeah, Hayat, you are saying something? I'm not able to listen your voice. There may be some audio or some problem from your side. Okay, here connection is good. So anything you want to say, just type in the chat box. Okay, Hayat. Right. So as I said, without giving any due consideration, any designing any systematic way, you are going to select the items as a sample. That kind of sampling will be known as the random sampling. Let's say, looking upon this figure, you can see these are the whole population. Okay, and here yellow mark is the sample items. Here you can see they are from all the sides, all over population, randomly distributed. Okay, so this is known as the simple random sampling. No system is defined. Okay, this is most popular, easy to conduct. Okay, but when we have the something in mind, some approach, right, in that case we have to go for the different type of the sampling, that is the systematic sampling. Okay, one new, what is this? So what is the systematic sampling? Systematic sampling is frequently chosen by its simplicity and its periodic quality. That means you are going to make some sort of the rules, systems. Being systematic means following some sort of the rules or norms, right? So when you are going to follow some sort of the rules or norms anywhere, we say that, okay, this is the systematic way. Like doing your research work, always it is said that your research work should be systematic. That means there are some sort of the precedence and predecessor and the successor events that has to be followed, right? Like you can't proceed without defining the problem. If you're not clear about the problem, in the most cases, your research is going to fail. You're not coming with some concrete or some good results. So that is the first step. Then understanding the problem, you're going to do the comprehensive literature review, refining your problem, right? So these are the order you are going to follow. That is known as the systematic. That means some sort of the rules or some sort of the guidelines you are going to follow. So what we do in the systematic sampling, first sample we pick randomly. That means any item in the population has equal chance, any item can be picked. And after that we maintain an interval of some numbers, let's say 10, 20, nth number, and always select the nth subject from that list, right? That makes your sampling very easy. You know which item has to be selected after selecting the first item, right? So you can see in the diagram, let's say this item is selected. After that, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, ninth item will be selected. After that, again ninth item, and so on. This goes on. Now, how to know ninth item or 10th item or like this one? Let's say if that is a 20 item. So you can go for this one 20 item. Then if this ends here, again you come here and go for this one, right? From here we go for the 20 item, 20 item, 20 item, but our sample size is not fulfilled. Then again we repeat it in the same list. But we follow the rules that, okay, I am going for the only nth item. First item should be selected randomly. There is no rule for first item. But second, third, fourth sample should be selected on the basis of some rules, right? So this kind of the sampling will be known as the systematic sampling, right? The next type of the sampling process or technique we have is stratified. Do you know meaning of the strata? Strata. What is the meaning of this term? Anyone? Hmm? If I show you the meaning of this term online, let's say from the dictionary, you can see that stratum, strata come from the this term. This is a plural noun. Okay. Sometimes it is defined with the class or level to which people are assigned according to their social status, education, or income. So this is some type of the group, right? Categories. Strata means some type of the group of categories we use for the classification of the items, and there should be some basis. Okay, this is a very specific meaning, but in research, we strata means different classes, right? So when you go for the stratified, in a static sampling, the researcher divides the entire population into different subgroups. Whole population in which you are interested is the one group, right? On some basis, there should be some criteria. There should be some criteria. Let's say income criteria. If you are going to conduct the survey from the people, generally we as an engineer or the engineering graduates, we are not going to perform the research, conduct the research on the social issues, right? We are more interested in the some technical things. So what can be different classes? If you go for the, let's say, a study of the cutting tool effect or material of the cutting tool on the something, there are numerous number of the materials. You can divide that material into some group like HHS tools, carbide tools, ceramic tools, like this one. And how many tools are to be selected from the one group? There may be a number of, depending upon the combination of the alloys, different elements. So that is going to make a categories. Same way, let's say, in an industry you have to do some survey. In that survey, there are people from the different designation or different levels. Some are workers, some are supervisors, some are managers, some are the top management. And you have to do the sampling. You can't go for all the people in a particular industry. Let's say the industry is the big one. And there you have to define how many samples has to be collected and from the which group how many samples. There you can use the stratified sampling. Okay, based upon the proportion from the different categories of classification, we choose the people. I hope you understand the stratified. Let's explain it with this figure. Let's say here we have three groups represented in three different colors. Assuming all groups have the same number of population, each group, subgroup, consists of the same item, same number of items, right? So we are going to give the equal representation if they have the same number of items. So you can see that in this case also 5 sample, here also 5, here total 15 sample have to be collected from the three groups. Each group contribute 5 items to the sample, right? And they are selected in a random order, okay, from the each group. So first dividing the whole population in the different classes, that is the strata, okay, and then doing the random sampling, giving the equal representation. That kind of sampling will be known as the stratified sampling, right? Okay, some more. Here you can see that there is a population or male and females in a particular group. On the basis of the gender, we can make the two subgroup. Okay, one is the male, one is the female. Two subgroup, two strata, two classes. And from each we are going to select some number of peoples. Here some male members, here some female members. Okay, 3 PB7. It depends upon your design. You can give the equal representation for the given population. Given group, like from the each group, female, although their number of item is less, but they have the equal representation in the sample. Or you can go for the proportional one. Based upon the number of items they have in their subgroups, you are going to give that much stress in the sample. That is the truly representation of your population. Now here you can see that this is the total population. First, this population is divided into some strata, some groups, right? These are the 6 items, these are the 4, 5, 3, 2. If you are going to give the equal representation, in that case, equal number of items should be selected from the each class. Okay, and here let's say one person, one item from the each subgroup is selected. Okay, so that is going to give the equal representation to the each group, and that is not depending upon the proportionality of their initial population, whatever that may be. This kind of sampling is used when you want to hear the voices of all the people, all the options, alternatives you have, right? So that was the concept of the stratified sampling. Now the next one is the cluster. Cluster is also more or less similar to the stratified sampling, right? In the cluster sampling, in place of selecting all the subject from the entire population right off, the researcher takes several steps in gathering his sample population. Right? How? With the help, sorry. Yeah. Let's say here we make a cluster. What is the meaning of cluster? Do you know? What is the meaning of cluster? Anyone? Cluster means a group of the similar things or people, right? Some sort of group classification as we already done in the previous case. Okay. But here, as per the definition, we go in the several steps, not at the same time. Right? Instead of selecting all the subject from the entire population right off, the researcher takes several steps in gathering the sample population. Like from the this cluster, this much, from this much. Okay, for the more explanation, let's say look this. This is the whole population. Okay. And these are the some clusters. Here in the different colors that it's shown. Clusters should be defined upon the basis of the some similarity between the items. Similar items should be taken together or kept together. That is known as a cluster. Right. One difference between the previous and this one is that we are not going to give the equal representation to the each cluster. But cluster should be selected as a sample, whole one. Are you getting my point? In the previous case, what we are doing? In the stratified sampling, what we are doing? We were giving the representation to each and every group. In cluster sampling, right? In cluster sampling, we choose whole the cluster as a sample, not the individual item or some representation from the each item. Hi, Levena. Are you able to listen my voice? Am I audible?
Now it is good.
Now it is good. I don't know what happened. I am using that microphone, so I think, okay, no problem. Okay, so that is the difference. Do you understand the difference between these two, stratified and the cluster?
No.
Okay. Okay. You understand that in the both sampling technique we have the groups. Is that clear? On the some basis there should be some subgroups, some classes, right? In the stratified, what we do, from the each class we select the samples. But in the cluster sampling, we not go for the each class or each group. We select whole group as a sample, right? If you see here, we select whole group, all units in the cluster. Cluster means a sort of the groups, okay? So in stratified also, we were making the some sort of the groups. But we are giving representation to the each group. We are selecting sample from the each group. Here each group is not considered. From this group we are not selecting any unit, anything. So on this cluster we are not focusing. On this we are not focusing. On this we are not focusing. We have selected only these two. And if you selected the group, all the items in the group should be included in the sample. Where in the case of the stratified, we were not including all the samples. We are including only some units, some items from the each group. So basic difference is in stratified, there is a representation of each group. In cluster sampling, each subgroup or group is not considered. Okay. Okay, to make it more clear, let's say go. Here they are the clusters. Okay. These, let's say this sample, sorry, population is divided in the these type of the groups 1, 2, 3, 4, and 4, 16 groups. Out of that, we have to select 5. If you go for the simple cluster sampling, we just select the 5 group out of 16. And each item in the selected group will be included as a sample. So if this, and this, in each we have the 16 items. So all these 16 items in these 5 groups, total 80 items should be considered. So this is the cluster sampling with the m equal to 5. Further, this can be, for the simplifying our efforts, we can do like this one. Out of the selected 5 group, we are going for the selected sample. Like we have selected 5 groups, and out of that, we are going for the n equal to 3. Right? Only 3 items out of these should be considered. How to select these 5 items? We are going to randomly select that 5 items or 5 groups. Here you are going to apply the concept of the probability for the selection of these 5 groups. Here, once you selected the 5 groups, and you have to select 3 out of the 16 items here from each subgroup. Here also you can apply the random sampling technique to choose or include 3 items out of 16 in a particular subgroup. Right? Okay. So the last one in the probability sampling is the disproportional. As it is evident from its name itself. That means not proportional. We are not going to take the samples in the same proportion. Right? Where we can apply it? When there is a sample size. In the stratified sampling technique, sample size, where we are taking the samples of the unequal sizes. Okay. This proportional sampling is a probability sampling technique is to address the difficulty researchers encountered with the stratified samples of the unequal sizes. Okay. So there is unequal sizes of the groups like this one. So in proportional sampling, you know that each stratum has the same sampling fraction. Fraction means, okay, let me explain it like this one. Okay. Let's say we have the subgroup 1, subgroup 2, subgroup 3, subgroup 5, subgroup 6, 4, 5, like this one. Here, this is the 10 item, this is the 20, this is the 30, this is 15, this is, let's say, 5. What is the total items? Total item is 10, 20, 30, 30, 60 and 80 items. Total is the 80 items. So if you are going to give the proportion fraction 10 by 80, 1 by 8 means each 8th element in the sample should be from the group 1. 20 by 80 means 4, 1 by 4. Each 4th item from in the sample should be from the group 2. So this fraction of proportion we are going to follow on the basis of their representation, right? But in the case of the disproportional, we are not going to follow that technique or that method. Okay, that followed in the proportional sampling. Each stratum has the same sampling fraction. In sample, they are the same representation as they are in the population, right? But in the disproportional sampling technique, the sampling fraction of each stratum varies. Right? In the final sample, that should vary. Like, take an example of the some stratified samples. Here you can see that this is the population, whole population. And based upon the some criteria, we have divided the population of the women, like Latino women over 50, black women over 50, white women over 50, like this one. In the some population, some countries like this. But we are taking the same number of the representation from each group, 4, 4, 4. So this is not the proportional one. If there should be proportional one, that means we should have taken more white women in the sample compared to the black and the Latino, right? So this kind of sampling is known as the disproportional sampling, where we are not going to maintain the proportion. Now coming to sampling errors, there will be always errors in the sampling, and that is due to the random variation. Please mute your microphone, whosoever. Okay. So wherever there is some measurements involved, right? Any kind of measurement, where is the technical measurement, measurement of size, shape, or whatever that may be, measurement of the some opinion, there should be some errors involved. So same way we have the sampling errors also, but we try to minimize this error by using the proper sampling techniques, right? So how the sampling errors can be minimized? One of the techniques that increase the sample size. You know, na, when you are going to conduct the 100%, include the 100% population in the sample, like census, chances of errors are nullified. When you're going to do the survey on the 100% population, all the items, your accuracy is highly improved. Same happens when you're going to minimize the sampling errors. If you increase the sample size, that will minimize or decrease the sample error, right? Sampling errors can be measured for a given sample design and size. For each design and size, sampling error may be different, right? And generally, this is known as the precision of the sampling plan. In the next class, we'll try to discuss something about the measurement. Not only the technical measurement that we do in the laboratory, but also some sort of the measurement related to this sampling techniques or sample collection, data collection. Okay. So if you increase the sample size, the precision can be improved, but there is a problem with the increasing the sample size. The cost of the collecting data, the time required, the infrastructure required, all things going to increase. So you have to make a compromise, trade-off between these two. How much precision we needed and how much budget we have, how much time we have. Like, so you are supposed to make a trade-off between these two. Okay, a compromise. Thus, the effective way to increase precision is usually to select a better sampling design, which is a smaller sampling error for a given sample size at a given cost. Okay, that's why sampling design come into the picture. You have the different techniques, right? So that's all about the sampling design. If you have any questions, we have left with less than 1 minute. We can discuss or we can take that question in the next class. If anyone has to say anything, you can say it right now. Okay? We have less than 1 minute. This forum is open for any question. Yeah. Hello. Any question? Yeah.
I have no question, doctor.
Yeah.
It's clear.
Okay.
Yeah.
So, okay. Thank you. So we are just finish the time.